Hi, today we are unboxing and doing a first look at the Optoma UHD60 projector. This is one of the most exciting projectors of 2017 because it's a real 4K projector with HDR processing, all under $2,000. That's pretty remarkable. Let's have a look. Here's everything that comes in the box. You get a chunky AC cable, a nice included HDMI cable for backyard presentations or business presentations, a backlit remote, more on that in a second, batteries for the remote. The manual is on a CD-ROM, and then of course we've got the projector itself. Now, I don't usually spend a lot of time talking about the packing materials, but there's a couple of notable things here. One, this is that non-degradable foam that's not going to leave little white pills everywhere. Two, these are delicate instruments, so if you ever need to transport them, you want to transport them in the box. Keep that lens from breaking or from internal components jostling around. We're taking a look at the back of the projector now, where all of your inputs are, and I just want to run through everything it's got. It's got an AC input here. These two pieces are for custom integration, so if you want to control this projector as part of a larger system, that's what you would use these ports for. You get two HDMI inputs. Only one of them appears to be HDCP 2.2, so if you're going to be connecting a 4K Roku or maybe a 4K Blu-ray player, you want to use the HDMI 2 port for that. There's also a VGA input. That's a little old school, but it's included here. We've got an audio input and audio output jack. You could actually use this to connect to a pair of speakers if you were doing a backyard presentation. USB power out to charge a device if you need to. There's a 12-volt out trigger. That's for integrators, again, if you're making this part of a large system. We also have a USB input so that we can access flash media, and an optical digital audio output. Up top, you'll find a little panel. If you press down on it, it'll release. We'll pull this back. I'm not a fan of this. It feels a little flimsy, but fortunately, you're not going to need to get in here that often. But you need to access this area because this is where you'll find your zoom and your lens shift area. Zoom obviously makes the image bigger on the screen. Lens shift allows you to move the lens up and down just a little bit so that if you're just a little bit off on the screen, you can get it perfectly centered. Up front, we have our lens. This is the business end of things here. And it comes with a little lens cap. I like that because when you're not using the projector, you can cover things up and keep the lens from getting dusty. Also, this is where you're going to do your focus. We do a little manual focus right here. A little bit of focus goes a long way. On the right side of the projector, you will find some basic controls. There's a power button here and an input switching button here, along with a menu button and some navigation keys. You're not going to want to use that very often though, because the remote is just so much easier. Also, I wanted to show you it's very brightly backlit, and this is great because often projectors are going in very dark rooms and you need to be able to see what you're doing before you start pressing buttons. Okay, so I flipped over the projector for a couple of reasons. One, if you're going to put this on a tabletop of some sort, you'll want to access these feet. These screw out so that you can both level the projector, but also you can give it a little bit of up angle or down angle as needed. Also, you'll find that the 4 holes for mounting this to the ceiling are located on the underside of the projector. You always flip this over and mount it upside down. Now, a little bit about projector mounts. If you're going to get a projector mount and install it yourself, I highly recommend that you go with one like this that offers a fine level of pitch and attitude control so that you can get your projector positioned just right. The remote has some basic controls for brightness and contrast. You can just pull them up using one of these 2 buttons here. There's also a mode button, and I would encourage you to play around with what looks best to you, but I prefer the HDR mode, especially when there's some ambient light in the room. It's a great place to start. From there, you're going to want to go into the settings menu and make sure you've got the orientation of the image right, especially if you flip this projector over in order to ceiling mount it. Here you can change the orientation of the image. Then we want to bounce out of there and take a look at some of these test patterns. Here we can put up a few different colored grids and get a whiteout screen to make sure that we've adjusted the projector just enough so that it's filling the screen fully, but not over projecting or under projecting. Finally, you can dig in for some more granular control. Some of these go beyond what the basic user might want to attempt to adjust, but if you have a professional calibrator come out, they'll be using these to dial this in to cinematic quality levels. That's it for our unboxing and first look at the Optoma UHD60 4K projector. For more information about this projector, including what you can expect in terms of picture quality, be sure to check out our full review. Hi, today we are unboxing and doing a first look at the Optoma UHD60 projector. This is one of the most exciting projectors of 2017 because it's a real 4K projector with HDR processing, all under $2,000. That's pretty remarkable. Let's have a look. Here's everything that comes in the box. You got a chunky AC cable, a nice included HDMI cable for backyard presentations or business presentations, a backlit remote, more on that in a second.